Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Lefiana Fajrin, and this is my teammates Salma, Nafisatur, Ruwaida, Vyra, Pratama, Wulandari, Annida, Hidni, Fauziyyah, and Syafira Nurcahyani. We are students of English department at the University of Sultan Ageng, Tirtayasa. Today we are going to talk about challenges of Indonesian students in speaking English. Language serves as a tool for communications. We use language to communicate with others, express our ideas, and understand other people's ideas. But we cannot communicate with one another without speech. As Kademov stated, without a speech, a language is reduced to a mere script. We always use language in various situations. People at their workplace, like researchers in a medical or language laboratory, students at their schools, and many more. We are expected and supposed to be able to speak correctly and effectively in order to communicate clearly with one another. At the same time, the language that has become a global language used internationally is English. English is spoken, learned, and understood even in those countries where it is not a native language. English is the language that majorly used in many sectors, including medicine, engineering, education, business, technology, and tourism. Even computer and software facilities that are available for us nowadays are carried out in English. In order to become a well-balanced communicator, we need to be proficient in each of the 4 language skills, including listening, reading, and the productive skills such as writing and speaking. Especially, the ability to speak skillfully can give the speaker a very huge distinctive advantages. Speaking skills are important for career success, but not only limited to professional fields. Speaking skills can also enhance one's personal life. According to Rao, drastic changes that currently is taking place all over the world has pushed people to have a strong aspiration to achieve something, which needs a good communication skills in order to fulfill their ambitions, because speaking skill can play a vital role and requires one to have mastery of the skill to get success in their respective fields. So speaking is the most important skill among all the 4 language skills in order to communicate well in this global world. An effective speaker can gain attention of the audience and keep it until the message is fully delivered. With that being said, the importance of speaking skills hinges enormous for learners of English language, because it is essential for us to master in order to be able to communicate, educate, and inform one another without any barrier and reach our desired goals and success. However, learners face many difficulties and problems in learning speaking skill in English as a non-native speaker. Indonesia, as an English foreign language or EFL country, also encounter many challenges in learning speaking skills, such as the unfamiliarity of the language that cause students to have lack of confidence in their language skills, and some of the reasons were due to shortage of vocabularies, students' insecurities with their English pronunciation, which further cause students to practice less and less since they are afraid of trying, feeling shy and not confident about their ability, scared of making mistakes, and experience anxiety in speaking. Lack of confidence also derives more problem, including feel unmotivated, which will influence their speaking skill development. Environmental factors can also become a significant challenges for students in learning speaking skills. Therefore, speaking skill in English is very important for students to achieve their academic and career success. But students face many difficulties and challenges that needs to be fully explored and understood.
The first challenges of Indonesian students in speaking English is lack knowledge of vocabulary. Learning a new language cannot be separated from vocabulary. Vocabulary can be defined in many ways. Knowing vocabulary in English is also very important in the process of learning English because if we comprehend the vocabulary, we can easily use the words we want to convey. Experts have proposed several terms about vocabulary. According to Richards and Rinanda, 2002, vocabulary is a core component of language proficiency and provides much the basic for how learners speak, listen, read, and write. In the citation of several journals, it comes up that students in Indonesia had a low speaking ability. Even the students admit that vocabulary was a major problem. The problems occur when the student who lack vocabulary need to talk and do not know how to combine the words into a good sentence. The number of students who learn English as a foreign language have difficulties using words and expression to speak. Students know what they are going to say in the search of language, but when they have to switch in the language itself into the target language, such as English, they often get confused about how to combine and use the proper vocabularies. And the other challenges usually faced by Indonesian students is a lack of confidence in speaking English. According to the students, lack of confidence is something that happens to them when they are talking to someone whose English speaking is more superior to theirs, like lecturer or native English speaker, and so on. To them, if the person does not understand something about what they are talking about, they can suddenly see themselves in a deep hesitation without being able to distinguish correct from wrong about what they have to say. Most of those students think that their English speaking is bad since they do not sound like native English speaker. They keep silent until they are convinced for sure that what they have to say is really correct and well pronounced as a native English speaker.
Next on, students face challenges in terms of speaking, ability, knowledge, and fear of making mistake. Every student faces difficulties in learning English. As Abdul Rahman, 2013, the main challenges that learners speak comfort, according to Turnberry, are two areas, knowledge factor and skill factor, due to the speaker lack of confidence. Knowledge factor mean here, the learners don't yet know aspect of the language that enable production, such as communication strategies. Skill factor mean here, the learner's knowledge is not sufficient automated to ensure fluency. Therefore, we should also have linguistic knowledge. Firstly, genre knowledge, which is about the purpose of speaking, whether as transactional function or interpersonal function. Secondly, discourse knowledge, which is about how to organize and connect individual utterance. Thirdly, pragmatic knowledge, which is the relation between language and its context of use, including the purpose for which language is used. Then, we should speak English grammatically correct, a wide range of vocabulary, and good pronunciation. In her study, as Hadiza, 2014, found that the students' reason in facing the problems on English speaking English were not only having limited knowledge on the component of speaking skills including pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. But also, they have own personal reasons, such as shy to perform speaking, lack of self-confidence, lack of speaking practice, time management, speaking material, and exposure problems. So, for the next, in here, I would like to give an example from when students get challenges in their speaking skill. For example, based on speaking tests given from speaking test Ruwaida, Mother Fully 25, it showed that overall students have 96% error in pronunciation, which includes 2% of the participant mispronounce, which affect the meaning. 42% of the participants show a few words are incorrectly that the meaning is not affected. 50% of the participants show one or two words are incorrect. Related to the fluency, there are 96% of participants met hesitation, which includes 12% of participants hesitate and repeated a lot of sentences the message is not very clear. 42% showing hesitate in almost every sentence. 42% of the participants paused at a few sentences but meaning is not affected. Besides, speaking is the main of the language because it shows people language measurement. Stufy and Hamuda 2016. First, the students felt they were like vocabulary. Second, the students felt confused when they wanted to speak when the teacher asked them to speak. Third, the students were like exposure in English because English only taught in 1 week. So, this example is from analysis in Mullah Warman University. For the next, there are fear of mistake and shyness. These psychological factors are the emotional feeling of the students when they want to speak in English. Johanna 2018. It's said by Johanna 2018 that the student will forget what they want to say because of shyness. Students fear of whether they make a mistake or not when speaking in English, and they're worried about being loved by their friend. So, this statement, it's really happened in our reality life. We could find that there is Indonesian students, especially who were sit in a junior high school or even senior high school, still feel afraid to speak up in front of their friend because sometimes they feel like, no, I'm shy and I'm afraid that my friend would be love me because I'm speaking English. Next on, in here that Johanna 2018 mentioned that 37% of the students mostly choose fear of mistake, and 26% of the students choose shyness. Moreover, the psychological factor have influenced student speaking performance. Further, teachers can make a personal approach and create a better learning atmosphere in the classroom. Fear of mistake is literally a factor that we could find in our reality life. For another example, when I was sitting on senior high school, and then I would like try to speak up in English in front of my friend, and then my friend, they said, you are not a good speaker in English, or even like in Indonesia. In Indonesian language, they say like so English. So this statement, it's literally make us as students feel shy or even like feel scared or fear a mistake when we want to speak in English.
One of the students of Indonesian's challenges in speaking English language is the lack of motivation. If there's no motivation for students in speaking English language, students won't be able to learn and improve their skills on speaking English language. So, as stated by Dorney, 1998, that motivation is a major aspect in learning, particularly in English speaking. A person is moved to take a specific action by inner source, goal, etc. One of the most important aspects influencing the speed and amount of success foreign learners like students of Indonesia is motivation. So additionally, motivation is one of the strategy for students to have their willingness to learn speaking in English language. Motivation is one of the aspects in speaking English language and one of the most essential factors affecting language acquisition according to Jones and Aydin 2017. It has an impact on students' attitudes and should be considered during learning process. Moreover, students' learning outcomes of the school's curriculum are improved when motivation is used as a smart processor to facilitate and support learners' needs. It also assists learners in determining what they already know, what they can perform, and what skills do they need to learn in speaking English language. As mentioned by Ki Charunchai 2012, students with high motivation of integrative and instrumental motivation will benefit from a bright future, profession, and educational opportunities. In speaking English language, students must be motivated while communicating with other people. In order for students to have their willingness on speaking English language, they must be able to be supported by developing out their motivation in speaking. According to June 2014, motivation is achieved by students of having their willingness on speaking. Based on the research in Riau Kepulauan University, almost 50% of the students showed low motivation in speaking English. They are interested in learning to communicate in English, while their teachers have attempted them in several activities to encourage them to speak in English, but they remain unmotivated to do so. Next, there is anxiety disorder. The challenge for students to be able to speak in English language is their anxiety disorder in speaking English language. However, for students in Indonesia, speaking in English is difficult because some of the students couldn't control their anxiety disorder when they are at the stage to perform their public speaking in English language. The causes of public speaking anxiety is difficulty in mastering English language, confidence, and fear of making mistakes. Based on Spencer et al. 2003 said the problem can affect anyone in every category of human is an equal opportunity like anxiety disorder. Somehow, anxiety can hinder the process of mastering public speaking, especially the students of Indonesia. Based on the research, the data which is collected from the questionnaires that is served to the students, for about 65% of the students agreed that they feel anxious when they are asked to speak in English language, especially in the class.
Learning environment can also be the factor can make difficulty for the students to to mastering speaking skills. Teachers sometimes do not teach how to speak English specifically. This makes the students not know how to pronounce English, especially difficult words. Private lessons that are devoted to being able to speak English fluently also have costs that are not cheap, so that cannot be reached by the lower middle class. Currently, there are couple English programs spread across several regions in Indonesia. Not all regions in Indonesia have the program. Regional dialect is also something that can affect the speaking ability. Some Indonesians find difficulty to pronounce English because the regional dialect. When speaking English, their dialect is still audible. This causes their pronunciation to be less clear. To get rid of that accent when speaking in English, they need intensive practice for a long time. Then, people around the learners can also influence a person's speaking skills. A family environment where less attentive to or being careless about their children learning make the students have low chance to being successful. Sometimes family, relatives, and friends mock someone who is practicing English speaking. A general public is still a view that speaking in English is an act that they want to be seen as cool person or act of disrespecting their country's language. In fact, the use of English in environment around the students is very important to help students improve their language skills. Because of general public's lack of understanding, they ridicule someone who speaks English. This makes students feel ashamed of or afraid when practicing English in their environment and choose not to learn mastering English. Language is tool for communication. We use language to speak with others, express our ideas, or understand other people's ideas. We cannot communicate with each other without speech. With the social development, English has been employed by people worldwide to language for international communication, information, and education. Communication takes place where there is speech. Thus, speaking skills in English language is important. As EFL learners, Indonesian learners experience various challenges in speaking English. This challenge can be the form of internal difficulties that come from the learners themselves and external difficulties that come from environment around the learners. These challenges are lack of vocabulary, lack of self-confidence, lack of pronunciation, fear of mistake, shyness, lack of confidence, anxiety disorder, lack of motivation, and factors of environment. Vocabulary is one of important things that must be mastered in speaking, but the learners have difficulty to utilizing words and articulation to express. The learners know what they will say in the wellspring of language, yet when they need to switch the actual language to the objective language like English, they regularly be befuddled with regards to how to consolidate and utilize the appropriate vocabularies. Pronunciation is also as important as vocabulary because it is the basis of speaking English skills.
In English speaking, the learners must say word by word with the clear pronunciation. For people who are not native English speakers, it can be difficult to speak with clear pronunciation. This can lead to self-doubt and shyness. Fear of mistake and shyness can result from a lack to speaking skills. Lack of self-confidence and motivation can also lead to shyness. In addition, they are afraid to make mistakes because they are afraid of the ridicule of people around them. Lack of confidence is something that happens to them where they are talking to someone whose English speaking is more superior to theirs, like lecturers or native English speakers, and so on. That is why some of the students could not control the anxiety disorder when they are at the stage to perform their public speaking in English language. They feel anxious when they are asked to speak English language, especially in the class. Lack of motivation is also a problem that must be faced by the students. Without motivation, students won't be able to learn and improve their skills in speaking English language. Teachers have attempted to engage them in several activities to encourage them in speak English, but they remain too unmotivated to do so. Another important thing that challenge the learners is the speaking is environment. Sometimes the learners struggle to find a place where they can develop their speaking skills. The dialect that is inherent to some learners also make difficulty for them to pronounce English well. In addition, sometimes the environment around the learners do not support them in developing their speaking skills. As previously explained, English speaking is not an easy thing for EFL learners, especially in Indonesia. Many challenges they have to face in mastering their speaking skills. However, if they get a good teaching and environment, they can develop their speaking skills optimally. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.